Hello. My name's Austin Greer, and I just want to look at a couple things real quick. Okay? This is a live stream on stuff that I've been looking at on the internet. Alright? So, I'm going to go here. I'm going to go to my history. And I'm going to look at a couple of things real quick. Alright?
There are aftermarket accessories that would allow you to break this gun down. He selected a bolt action because this is typically the choice for a long range sniper. A bolt action looks like this. It has very few moving pieces. When you put the bolt forward and engage around, it locks in place. And because nothing happens after you pull the trigger except the click, the amount of gas pressure in the barrel remains consistent, and that's why this type of gun is preferred for long-range shots.
And it doesn't expel the cartridge either, which I learned. So he took that cartridge with him, and it was found inside the gun, according to some reports, along with some others in a magazine. How quickly, if it is broken down, because it doesn't look like he's jumping with a long rifle tucked in his leg. It looks like it's got to be in that backpack. So how quickly could he break it down if he needed to break it down?
A second or two.
I'm going to disprove this. We're going to, once again, go to my history. We are going to go down here. We're going to watch this video. He plays with it a little bit. Does this look like a second or two? I know the stock's going to be different. You could skip one of these steps. But does this look like a second or two? You don't have to do this with that modernized stock. But these are steps you have to do. Not this though. You could skip over this real quick. Now, watch this spring. That's where the bullets are going to be. What are they going to do? They're going to be falling all over the fucking place. So you can leave that in, okay? You're going to have to take the bolt out. You're going to have 4 screws, no matter what, on the research that I looked for. You're going to have 4 screws that you're going to have to take out. And then when you take the top barrel off of it, those shells are going to go fucking everywhere. Not only that, but when you take the bolt out of the rifle, you're going to expend that 1 shell casing. So now you got 5 shells that you got to, oh, okay, let me hurry up and grab all these. Let me get the barrel. Let me get the stock. Let me throw it into a backpack it won't even fit in. And then let me go jump off the freaking roof. And then after you jump off the roof and get to that area where they found the rifle on their ongoing investigation, you're going to find all the screws that you threw into the backpack. You're going to put your stock and you're going to put your barrel together. You're going to screw those back in. And these screws are, 2 of them are the same and the other 2 are the same. So you got to put them in the correct order. Not only that, but you're going to put your bolt carrier group back in. After you get that put together, you're going to reload the 4 shells in it, or 3 or 4, or how many ever there were, and then you're going to take your 1 spent shell, you're going to throw it into the chamber, and then you're going to ride that bolt carrier group home. I'm not an expert, I'm an idiot. And even I can put this together. He did not have a gun when he jumped off of that roof. It was in the bag. It was in the bag. No, it was not. No, it was that. No. No, it was not. The barrel is too long. It would have been sticking out of the bag. It would not fit in that bag that he had. It would not fit in the bag that he had. Plus, like I said, the shells would, or the cartridges would be everywhere. After he took the barrel off, the spring would shoot him out everywhere. He'd be dipping and dapping, fumbling, not knowing what's happening. So that gun was not taken apart that day, I guarantee you. So we're being lied to about where this firearm was found, in my opinion. We are being lied to about a lot of other things going on with this. Why are those people that were the suspects at the beginning not held and questioned further? Because to me, if somebody's down there, hey, I'm the shooter or whatever, that would make me believe that they were in on it in some type of way. Just giving y'all like some common sense thinking here. I've made a couple of videos. The last video on my shorts, I don't know if you can see that. Maybe it'll focus. Maybe it won't. It said it will not upload it because it's waiting for network connection. I'm on Wi-Fi. I'm live streaming right now. There's nothing wrong with my network connection. I am being suppressed about the information that I have. Stuff will not let me. I tried on X. I'm now trying on YouTube. They will not let, something will not let me talk about this. I really highly doubt I get any views on this. But I just want this, like, in history, time stamped. It is not 4:44 a.m. here where I'm at. I don't know how to. September 13th. At 7:44 a.m. I don't know why my computer is doing the things it's doing. I couldn't tell you. But I just hopped online. I was like, oh, is there anything else that's come out on this? And then like I seen that one video of this guy saying shit, and I'm like, none of what this guy's an expert, a gun safety expert. He should know a wide variety of firearms and how they work and everything else, and his dumb ass can't even think through this. If somebody was to give me this script, and yes sir, that's the only way I would be able to like be saying what this guy is saying, because none of what he's saying is making any sense to me. As a person that's been around guns for a decade, that's me. This guy's an expert, so I assume he's probably been around guns for 2 or 3 decades. I would assume. And he's saying some dumbass shit like this. How does that make any fucking sense? If like, the thing that got me going is because I've been around firearms a couple times in my life. My brother had a problem with his magazine and his 17 HMR because it was in there wrong. I think he tried to slam it in to make it go, and it got fucking jammed. So I had to take the whole fucking trigger assembly out, the box magazine that's attached in the stock, all this other shit, wedge or pry on it, get it out, this, that, the other. That's why I could come to this conclusion, because I have real world experience messing with firearms. Okay? And I highly believe Charlie Kirk. I've hunted in my life. I have. I've hunted feral hogs in Texas. I've shot them with a plethora of calibers. 30-06, 6mm arc, 308, 5.56, some 9mm carbine stuff. I mean, you name it, you're allowed to even shoot them with 22s because they're a nuisance. I have not done that, but I have shot them with 9mm and 5.56. I have. And watching the video of Charlie Kirk being assassinated, I cannot come to the conclusion that that was a direct hit to his neck. It looks to me like he was shot upper center mass, and he was wearing some type of body armor, and it ricocheted off and hit his neck. That's what it looks like to me. I'm not saying I've ever shot a person or been in any type of military or police. But off of the data on previous engagements that I have had with feral hogs, squirrels, rabbits, pigs, whatever else, deer, I cannot come to a conclusion. If he was shot directly in the neck, that hole would be the size of a freaking pencil. Whatever that cartridge, 30-06, it would be a 30 caliber hole in his neck, and it would have went all the way through. Through and through. That I could promise you. I know. Now, the backside of his neck, depending on the round that they used, if it was an FMJ, it would probably be about the same size as the entrance wound. Because when you hit something with a round, it takes distance going into that to disform the projectile for, if you're using soft point ammunition, for it to expand. It takes time and distance to expand. To have that bigger amount of damage done to the soft tissue. Okay? And within a neck, which mine is, I mean, I don't know how much bigger his is than mine, but mine's that big around, and that much experience, you might get a little bit of expansion, and the back side of it would be a little bit bigger, probably twice as big, depending on what round, hollow point, soft point, whatever. And it would go all the way through. These are factual things that we can ascertain from the whole investigation on things that we are looking at, that we can come to conclusions on. It's very simple. I am highly confident in what I am saying because I've experienced things in my life. Okay? This smells and looks like shit. The whole thing. I am not suicidal. I have no ill will or intent on myself. Or anybody else. I'm just saying factual information that I'm looking at, perceiving with my senses, such as eyesight, my ears. I can't feel or taste anything, or smell anything, because it's all on a computer screen. But off the information that we have so far, this looks and smells like shit. The guy jumped off a building. I don't know if it's going to show it here, but let's watch.
What?
Literally just push a button and wrap it around, push another button and wrap it back. They're designed to be able to be put into full length mode or compact mode extremely quickly.
Does that look in any way like it folds? Is there a hinge anywhere on this rifle? No. No, there's not. Okay. Why is this guy saying what he's saying?
Well, that would make perfect sense. Given what we've now seen, Steve, and I think a lot of that video is brand new since we called you earlier today. Now we're seeing him running to the...
This! How do you calculate that? You have ballistic coefficients, which is how the projectile flies through the air. Okay? You have muzzle energy, which is measured generally in at least everything that I know, feet per second. You can have foot-pounds of energy. That's usually on a lot of boxes. At certain yardages, it'll tell you, hey, at muzzle, 100 yards, 200 yards, 300 yards, you're getting this amount of foot per second on averages. Are they because if they're measuring what is it called? I just had it. The energy, that is a false claim. 10 times more powerful than 9 mil. Foot-pounds of energy. It is not 10 times more foot-pounds of energy than a 9 mil. That's false. So everything that the mainstream media has showed me so far is nothing but shit. Let's go on.
The edge of the building, jumping off that building. He's holding onto the backpack as he's jumping and landing with the backpack. Most of us would drop whatever heavy thing we have so that it makes the landing less painful. But he jumps with that.
The way his legs are hinging, the rifle was not put down his pants in any way. Okay. Not in his pants. They're not in his backpack. It's not in his shirt. Where is it? Why are we being lied about that too? You're being lied about this. You're being lied about the 10 times more powerful than 9 mil. You're being lied about the gun is able to be hinged. Oh, the gun was taken apart. No, it wasn't. Why can't I get anybody to watch my videos? Let's go on.
Backpack. Does that make you think that he did break the rifle down and that he did put it in the backpack?
Not necessarily. With all the things going on in his mind, he's probably not thinking about what's the best way to land here. He's thinking about getting away. There's no danger of the gun going off if he were to have dropped it, because what's in the chamber is still the expended cartridge.
What's in the chamber is still the expended cartridge. So if this gun was taken apart, like I said before, either way you look at it, you see this? He still has a bolt in the gun. Meaning this can stay in here to take this off. Okay? That could explain why. Hear me out. That could explain why the cartridge was still in the barrel or in the chamber. Okay? But watch this. All those bullets are dumping out right now. So when he went to go put the gun wherever, he put it all back together, those 4 screws. He put it all back together. He would have to, hear me out, he would have to reload that magazine. You've seen the spring all willy-nilly. He would have to unchamber that bolt carrier group with the shell that's expended now, like on the ground right beside him. He would have to then load each one of those rounds, put the expend cartridge back into the chamber, and then close the fucking bolt. Let's continue.
The empty brass, so he could smash that gun as hard as he wants. It's not going to go off again.
But what do you make of him dropping off? I mean, he would not have put that gun in his pants and done this jump, but I don't see a gun in his hands.
Yeah, no, it looks like it's in the bag that he's carrying.
Get the fuck. What are you talking about, bro? Look how small that bag is.
I mean, he would not have put that. But what do you make of him dropping off? I mean, he would not have put that gun in his pants and done this jump, but I don't see a gun in his hands.
Yeah, no, it looks like it's in the bag that he's carrying.
Yeah, I think you're right. He had to have. And just to be clear, it's a long gun. He would have had to break it down, correct? It wouldn't have fit in a backpack.
Cap! Cap, 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 cap. I don't give a fuck.
That size put together.
Yeah, that's correct.
There's no gun there.
It's hard to see if that's really the same backpack that we saw in the
There's no
shots.
gun. There's no
To
gun
me,
in the
it looks
backpack.
more like a duffel bag of
No.
36 to 40 inches.
No,
So
no,
he could have had
no,
the...
no, 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 no. We seen the fucking backpack on the pictures. That is not a 36-inch to 40-inch backpack. Once again, we're getting lied to. Let's continue. Let's just continue.
uncompacted weapon in there as well.
Yeah, he certainly didn't leave anything behind at the scene of the shooting because
no.
they, well,
If-
at least
if he'd
that's
have brought,
the authorities have not said it.
That's right. If he'd had an AR-style weapon when he pressed the trigger, clear that. When he pressed the trigger, the gun would have gone off, and then the bolt would have gone back, and spent brass would have gone out, and
That's any semi-auto weapon. Any semi-automatic weapon. Not just an AR-15, any semi-automatic weapon with a gas piston system in it, short action, whatever. I mean, I think I'm more fucking educated than this guy. And this guy is an expert. I think they lied about that too. What are we doing here? What? Let's continue.
The scene, which doesn't make too much sense why he still left the gun so close to the scene where...
Recovered 4 cartridges. Wait. So that means that thing was fully loaded. The KAR K98 Mauser holds 4 plus 1. Or I think it holds 5. If you use a stripper clip, bang, right in there, that's 5. Push the bolt forward, boom, you got 1. I think that's the only fucking thing that is truthful about this is right here. But then again, we're lied to about everything else.
And was recovered.
Okay, next question. It's an important one for investigators. That is, how many people roughly have this gun? How hard will it be for investigators to narrow down this particular gun to the person who purchased it or owned it eventually?
It depends entirely on the individual.
That really depends. Before this guy, uneducated, whatever the fuck you want to call him, goes in on whatever he says, there's going to be a lot of things that go into this. Okay, that is an older gun. With technology on the rise, as it has been over some time, most people are using modernized sporting rifles. Okay? Why? Because you get better accuracy, lower MOA, minute of angle of the shot, better cartridges, like you're getting better ballistic coefficients with the newer cartridges, 6mm arc, 6.5 Creedmoor, stuff like that. People are going that route because it flies flatter, longer, and you don't have as an extreme of an arc over distance that you do with these older cartridges such as 308 30-06. So this type of rifle would probably only, if you're into guns or whatever, one, if you really can't afford much, okay, it's going to be cheaper because it's older. Number 2, you're going to have this because it's sentimental. This is your father's, grandfather's rifle that y'all used to go hunting with. Number 3, accessibility of the firearm. The older ones, a lot of people are selling them. Why? Because they're not as accurate. They're not getting as good BC with the projectile that's coming out of it. So if he could have got it cheaply, it's widely available, blah, blah, blah. Let's go. Let's just...
Individual gun, while thousands of people do own that gun, whether it was purchased, on a 4473 form in a store where there's a record they can get it, whether it was purchased from a friend, whether it was given to him as a gift. So there may or may not be a record of ownership on the gun. So really, no way to know on that.
But in this particular area in Utah, hunting is big, right? Like there's got to be, and if this is a big, you tell me, but I think this is a big gun among hunters. It would be tricky, especially in this part of Utah, to narrow this gun down. There's a lot of them out there, right? Yeah, there certainly are. And the marksmanship, wasn't particularly great. With a large caliber rifle, you can still create a lethal wound from hits in many parts of the bodies. But if you look up anything about sniper, you'll see, snipers work either headshots, which is the less preferred because heads are small, or a central torso shot. But to hit a neck versus a heart, he would be off 8 inches on that, or about the same if he was doing a headshot. He'd be off another 9 or 10 inches.
Thank you for watching.
All right. The guy is right about that. He did not aim at the head, people. He did not aim at the head. I don't care what you say. I've watched as enhanced, and I can't show that on this platform. But I have watched as enhanced video as there is out there on this topic. It looked like to me that he was hit upper center mass and it ricocheted into his neck, and you can see an outline of some type of body armor-esque thing that he was wearing. And later on, this will come out that this is the truth. And the hole and everything you would have seen would have been a lot smaller because the projectile hit that piece of body armor in a way and smushed it. Made it bigger. It probably went from like that big to that big instantaneously. Well, pretty well instantaneously. And then it went up and hit him. That's why it did not go out the back. Okay? And that's why there's such a big hole in the front. I know I said earlier that you need time and you need distance going through fleshy material for it to expand, but if it hit something really hard, such as body armor, it would almost instantaneously get as much expansion as it can off of that alone and ricochet up and hit him. These are my thought processes on everything that I've seen. Could I be wrong on any of this? Probably not. Okay? I don't feel like I am. I've gave this much thought. I've looked at if you cant the rifle in a certain way. If like the wind that was out there. What the not biometrics, but the whatever the trajectory of standard, where, like I said earlier, like I have a video a couple days ago where standard, we have to assume standard on everything, and everything so far seems standard. Standard ammunition, standard velocities, standard foot muzzle energy, standard foot pounds of energy when it's going to dispel all of its energy in a target. I've looked at the weather that day, the temperature, the elevation of where this was shot at. I'm telling you, I've looked at a lot of different things. Now, I don't show all this on the internet because nobody's as much of a nerd, I guess, as I am, and everybody's going to be like, oh, that's boring shit, Mr. Cheeks. Okay? But if y'all want, later on, I could show you. I could open up freaking 30 tabs like I had the other day up here and show you all this information. And you will if you see the same information that I've seen, you will come to the same exact conclusion that I've come to. It'd be hard, like deep down in your mind, you'll be like, shit, I was wrong, or whatever. But verbally, because of your ego, you might be like, this doesn't make any sense to me. Okay? Through the information that I've looked up. That's how I've come to this conclusion. So, with all this thus far that we have, this is the only part I'm concentrating on right now, because this is the biggest question that I have, is why don't we see him with a gun while he's jumping down, and why has it ended up where it's ended up in the condition that it's in, essentially? Because if he would have dropped it, you would see some type of damage. This is a synthetic stock, is usually what they call them. It's I forget what it's called, like pressure casted or something like that, extrusion, something. I'm not too educated in that. But these things are hard. And I've seen cracks on these a lot, okay? Especially with age. The older it gets, the more brittle it becomes. The more it's set out in the sun, the more brittle it becomes and such. If he would have dropped this from 12 feet, I think something would be fucked off on this. Okay? I explained the chamber. Shit. Because you can leave the bolt carrier group in. You can. But you cannot. You can, but it would be very, very difficult to do. You can leave... No, I don't... you gotta take the bolt carrier group out to put the other bullets back into the magazine. Just simple shit like this that you could just tear apart. And I've seen people making videos of all these different things that I'm like, hell, with what he's saying and the information that's out there, that makes a lot of sense. So he put all the bullets back into this magazine, or left the bullets somewhere. I don't know. For me, the most thing that would make sense is this gun's not together as it's sitting here. If it was, in fact, put into that 38-inch, the 40-inch long backpack. Looks like a duffel bag to me. When we have video of him walking up the steps with the backpack. That was way smaller than that. So if this was in 2 pieces, and the bullets just, all array, I'd get down with a little bit of that. If the backpack was bigger, I'd get down with a little bit of that. What's this? Oh, what's that? Does that look like a 40-inch backpack to you? 40 plus inch? Duffel bag? Does it? Or does it not? You know how long that firearm is? I think just the stock alone is 30... I think it was like 36 inches or something like that, plus a ½ inch somewhere or whatever. I don't know. Is that fitting in there? No. You don't see anything on the top of this where it would, if you could angle it to where you're going to get the most distance in here, you would see the top part of this thing like crinkled up or something. It would look, you would notice. No matter how you break this particular gun apart, it's not going to fit in there. If you use a Sawzall, bang, 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 and then throw it in there, yeah. But are you going to be able to shoot it? Don't know. That's what I'm saying. They're lying. They're lying. Somebody's lying. I'm tired. Look, I understand this was a terrible event. I understand that it was not justified violence for political whatever, okay? I feel bad for the man. I feel bad for the family. I feel bad for America. My biggest thing is I'm pretty tired of fucking getting lied to. There was a lot of things about the Butler, PA thing that I'm like, no. There's a lot of things about this to where I'm presenting to you right now, to where I'm like, none of this makes any sense. You see, in a video like this, I'm going to try not to show it, but you see him as soon as the round cracks off, he's running. How is he breaking that rifle down? With the times that you could put all together, that I've done already, of this going on and that security footage, he would literally have, he would literally have to be running while taking, we don't see that on the other security footage of him. There's not enough time. You got 4 bolts. How is he running and taking this gun apart and putting it in the backpack before he gets over to that security footage? Does it make any sense? And then put it all back together, unchamber the round, put the bullets back in, rechamber the spent cartridge, and put it into the chamber and leave it like that. Just use your mind, man. Just use your mind. The 2 people that were at the beginning, or where they took him into custody, the guy that celebrated, Now, this guy that celebrated could just be a sicko. Who knows? He's just like, anything bad that happens, I'm cheering. Fuck it. That's probably how he spent most of his life. Who cares? Alright, that's neither here nor there. But the two guys that said I did it, that was an obvious distraction. In my opinion. There was a lot of things that were obvious distractions. If they already had the CCTV footage of this guy, which is right here, I guarantee they had that within hour and a half, 2 hours. Why didn't they release it? When I watch YouTube videos of police doing work, investigation work, they come up to a scene, somebody punched somebody. Hey, one officer interviews another officer, or they separate and interview, and then another officer will arrive. Hey, bro, can you go check the store that they were right by, or that house that has cameras on it right there? That's the first thing they do. While the other two people are getting the sides of the story, and they put it all together, and they say, hey, this person was lying. This is what happened, so we're going to charge this person that started it type deal. And then they go to fucking prison or jail. And then they give it to the DA's office and whatever else. We're not seeing any type of transparency with this. Like, any person that I look up on YouTube, oh, I'm not on YouTube. Shit. Watch. For this person, for this person, for this that happened, why is it that we get full transparency on these normal people, like you and me, that's watching this video? Why do we get full transportation? They even throw footage from wherever they're at. Plus, they cooperate with the body cam videos of the police department and police cars and this and that and the other and this and that and this and that. Plus, written statements you can get on FOIA requests and everything else. A lot of times, these people aren't even charged yet, so it's technically an ongoing investigation. But yet, we get this type of transparency with the normal people like you and I. But if it's, per se, Charlie Kirk, or somebody that has influence, somebody that has money, somebody that maybe works for them, we have zero transparency and nothing but lies. Why is that? Just asking questions. I'm just being as brutally transparent and honest as I can. And let me look if that one video that I was making, if they're going to allow that. Where do I find that at? 1 second. Just give me 1 second. Oh, I'm still uploading it, I think. Oh yeah, it's still uploading for some reason. See that? I think you might be able to see that. Maybe it says uploading. That's been uploading for... How long have I've been on this? For 40 minutes. I was trying to upload that for about 30, so it's been, what, an hour and a half? It won't let me upload it because it says Charlie Kirk and evidence on it. This video will probably not be seen by anybody because it will be suppressed. Have you ever wondered, like, on content that you make? I know mine's not great quality. I understand that. I don't have a lot of money. I do have time and energy, though. But have you ever wondered, you know, you watch all these people on the internet, and you're like, man, maybe I could be able to do this full time, just like they do, and have a good life. But it never happens. And you got to ask yourself, why is that? Some videos I make of funny fart videos where I scare my dog with a fart or something, oh, I get like 2,000 views. If I make any type of video like this, sit there for a week, 2 weeks, you want to know how many views it'll get? Why is that? Is it even stored in their database? I don't know. I mean, they make it awfully hard to convince me that there is not a conspiracy for a lot of different things. It really does. But this stinks like shit. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. I doubt anybody will ever see this. I doubt this will ever get anywhere. Just like all the other things I've done. Never goes noticed. You know, not trying to be a crybaby wah or nothing, but I'm just pointing out basic facts. And, you know, I go and I go online, right? I'll go online and watch a controversial video. And I'll type something in there. Like, something like I'm just showing you guys. Evidence. And I am bombarded with hate. Bombarded. I make a regular comment, like that would be typical of a bot-esque comment. Nothing. I make a comment, you know, I don't know. It doesn't seem like anything's real anymore. That's my biggest thing. I think that they push certain things depending on how, like, what you click on. So if you click on a lot of right-leaning stuff, that's all you're gonna see is right-leaning stuff, and that's part of the brainwashing. And then after they get done with the brainwashing steps of it, they're like, oh, he's got enough, you know, he's clicked on enough of these and everything, and he likes them, and he agrees with, we assume that he agrees with everything. And then they get into the division part. The next couple of videos, after you agree with them, we're going to divide you now. Call me a conspiracy theorist. But these are just the subjective things that I see every day. On, you know, platforms. And every one of them seems to give the same things. Now, to get into why was this done, I think there's many different reasons it was done. I think that it was done for more division. Hey, let's put a prominent person up there. Kind of like the MLK thing, JFK, Malcolm X. Now this. Hasn't been done in a while. I mean, besides Butler, PA. And that's another thing I kind of want to get into is the polarizing differences between Butler, Pennsylvania and this. And the Butler, PA thing, it was very little skill, thought, it seemed like to me, put into it. I mean, it was the whole thing of, you know, him climbing on the roof, getting a better angle, this, that, the other. All right. Having a rangefinder, this, that, blah, blah, blah. Okay. But he missed. Didn't and not only that, why are you going to use a 5.56? That's for your typical, you know, I mean, CQB type stuff, like probably out to 200-300 yards. All right, cool. That's a small projectile. If I was going hunting, would I use a 5.56? No. Like I said, I have done it before on hogs because you're legally allowed to shoot them. I did it one time. You know why I didn't do that anymore? because it wasn't as effective, or it was not very effective. That hog ran. It suffered a lot. I had to go chase it. I don't know. But I think this was done to create even more division. Because it's like we've been squeezed. Not slowly, but very rapidly and aggressively squeezed. For the last couple of years. 4, at least. Yeah, probably 5 since COVID. COVID started at the end of 2019, and the reason I know that and remember that is because I was let go from my job. And that was a very tough time for me. But we've been squeezed and squeezed and squeezed and squeezed. And it's like they're really, the things they're doing. Look at the Maui wildfires. You know? It's like they purposely, they were like, oh, we're going to give people $700. That pissed everybody off. Everything they're doing for the last couple years pisses everybody off. Just fueling the fire. And it seems like what they want from us is a war. That's just from my existing here. Being a part of it. That's the only conclusion I could draw. There hasn't been a lot of things that are very beneficial for you, has there? Probably not. There's been a lot of very bad things that has happened. And it probably feels like you don't have a lot of money. Right? Me too. And you got to work more so you have less free time. Yeah? So that makes you more stressed out, doesn't it? The car prices. What happened to those? That's an asset that you need. Your asset, house prices. That's an asset that you need. You see what I'm saying here? And then they come out and blatantly, very dumbly, like, you gotta have some guy in there that can fucking think. You know? I think I'm a little bit above average. And the only reason I say that is in I think it was 13 or 14, can't remember. I took the ASVAB for the Army. Never went. I got DQ'd because of my body mass index. I'm a twig. I've always have been. I'm probably always going to have to be for some reason or another. But I scored a 72 on that. And I looked around and I was like, fuck, I barely passed. You know what I mean? I was used to school grades. I just graduated. 72, like 70's passing. Barely. I think that's a C- or something. But seen people, they were like, I got a 26. I got an 18. I got a 31. I think there was one guy that got like a 40. There was one guy that got like an 80 something. You know? And to pass that, I believe you need like a 38. Could be wrong on that. So that's why I think, you know, just I'm a little bit above average. They told me, holy fuck, you could do any job you want in here. You could have any job. That's a score that depicts which job you can have, because that goes into like mechanical. It's just the overall knowledge of like reading, writing, mechanical knowledge, you know, just math, fuck everything, physics, you know, you name it, it's on there pretty much. It's just a kind of almost like an IQ test, I would assume. My God. This is scary. See what I got. Got a lot of these. I'm pretty terrified. Because, you know, you do it once, you throw it all over social media. Everybody looked at that. Everybody looked at this man being murdered. A lot of people did. unedited, very gory. It's evident to me somebody wanted you to see that. Why? Why did somebody want you to see that? To desensitize you to violence. Very gruesome, violent act. And I bet you've seen it. I would highly recommend that you do not watch that video if you haven't. Okay? I've seen a lot of shit. Seen a lot of shit. I'm sure everybody has. But I've seen probably, once again, a little bit above average. Seen a lot of shit. Worked construction for a lot of years. Seen a lot of injuries. A lot of injuries. Not many things have I seen via gun violence, but I've seen a lot of injuries happen to a lot of different people. I've seen some really bad shit. And just because that was in the jugular, that was some pretty bad shit. But the reason they let that go on there, because the president could have gotten on the phone with Elon and said, nip it in the bud. You know what I mean? With tech execs, with tech people. Hey, we don't want anybody to see this. Come on. You know what I mean? Shut it down. Out of respect for this man and his family. Shut it down. Now. We can, put it on something else, whatever. Put it behind some type of wall. FOIA request it if you want it. Type deal. So it's like not against any type of press. But for it to be blatantly on everybody's feed. I didn't even have to click on the video when I went onto X. And it was just, boom, pretty much instantaneously put in my face. Somebody, or a group of people, wanted everybody to see this. Okay? So, but why? To desensitize you to violence. But why? Because they're dividing us and they want us to fight. That's why. That's the only conclusion that I can draw with, like I said, fucking 500 times in this video, with all the information that I have. I don't claim to have any sources anywhere. But I know a little bit of simple psychology. You don't do anything unless you have a gain to do so. And I said in another video, if you're hungry, you eat. If you go to work, you get paid. So you can provide. I have a gain out of this, making this video. That gain is so we don't fight. So we can all understand who the true aggressor in this situation is. It's not the left. It's not the right. I don't even think it was American civilians. Now, if you, I know it's going to be hard, but get some thought processes, put them together. Maybe you can assume or infer what I'm talking about. But us people, if there's any type of violence that comes from this, such as a war, I won't be participating. You wanna know why? Because it's not our war. This is not our war. It is somebody else's war that has an agenda of eating, essentially. Because they gain something from this. What do they gain? More division. If a group of people are more divided, they're easier to control. Maybe, hey, you know, that they'll be having wars, they'll martial law, confiscate guns. Your Second Amendment, if you get so emotional to where you're like, I'm going to go fight, I'm going to go shoot people in this war that's going on, all of your rights, mark my words, will be gone. Martial law will kick in. There will be a new start to America as we know it. And I'd put money that it would be a dictatorship from that point forward. Because if you think about it, where are we at now? Over 60% of all of the money that you and I make, where does it go to? It goes to property taxes. It goes to income taxes, capital gains tax, car registration, all the insurances you have to do, the extortion of fines if you forget to turn your left turn signal on, honest mistake, no ill intent towards the public, but somebody that came by, seen it, and wants to extort you for your money, or they'll take away your driving privileges, or put out a warrant and strip you of your freedoms. Some people are like, maybe this guy's right, all on the right side. No. Well, what he just said kind of conflicts what the right side is. This is just the way I think. Oh, he's this, he's that, he's this, he's that. No. This is just the way I think. And all the terrible things that have happened to me in the last 30 years kind of makes me hard, or it kind of makes it hard for me to want to be a part of any group. Because my whole life has been swimming against a very high current creek, or up against a high current creek. Barely, exhaustingly staying above water and getting to my destination. So I believe in the next coming weeks or months, if somebody is going to do something, they are probably going to do it pretty quickly. I would encourage everybody to stay very vigilant and not act in haste, meaning don't let your feelings, if you start feeling some feelings, walk away, cool down. Have some good coping skills. And I am just in fear that there's going to be probably pretty abruptly something bad that's going to happen again, and it is going to light the fuse. But if anybody, hopefully a lot of people see this and can spread it around and, keep everybody cool, because that's what they want, is for you, me, everybody else to be unfit, unhappy, struggling, and strife. They want all these things. And the more we give it to them, the worse our life becomes. So just keep that in mind. Just thought I'd make this little broadcast here in hopes that maybe somebody will make me smarter. Maybe you know something I don't. And you can let me know. You can DM me. I don't care. Do whatever. Write it in the comments. Let me know. And thanks for watching.